Nevertheless, let's bring in Sean Spicer now, a man who knows plenty about Donald Trump. He was the former press secretary under him some years ago. Sean, good to have you with us on the program today. Thank you for your time. First of all, let's start with Kamala Harris and your reflections on what she just had to say at the lectern.
I'm just glad. I mean, look, it's nice that she did it, that she spoke to President Trump. I think there's a little sense of a lack of awareness as to what happened last night. But I don't want to look. I'll just take the victory. How's that? I think there's a tone deafness in the comments about the message that was sent. To your point, this wasn't just a victory, right? She barely won New Jersey and Rhode Island and states that are heavily Democratic, heavily blue, that turned out close to 60% for Joe Biden.
Close.
Virginia was close, 51.8%. Loudoun County up in the northern part of Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., a county that we looked at early last night and said something's not going to go well here because she should have been running up the score. My point is, like I said, I don't want to dance on her grave. She lost, she conceded. But at the end of the day, the problem right now is that there's a tone deafness with some of these folks that doesn't recognize the rejection of not just the victory of Donald Trump, but the rejection of their ideas. And again, so if they don't want to get it and they want to move on, I'll just take the win and move. But it's unfortunate because I think that there's a lot of issues where there's some agreement on, for example, securing the border or getting back to issues that would curb inflation that aren't necessarily partisan, but more common sense, something that Donald Trump talked about. And it's just hopefully the sting of the loss is what's guiding them now.
Yeah. So we'll eventually get to Donald Trump. I just want more on this, though, because she talked about bringing the nation together, and she said she was proud of the campaign that her team run, but there was some pretty divisive language. I mean, there were claims of fascism, and Hitler was referenced by her team on more than one occasion. I mean, there's not much togetherness about that, is there, Sean?
No, there's not. And that's why, look, I think this was an opportunity. I feel challenged here because I don't want to, like I said, more than anything, I want to acknowledge that she conceded and that we're going to move on and we're going to focus on Donald Trump and what he's going to do for the country. But the reality is that it's devoid of reality on the campaign they ran. Politics is tough. It's a contact sport, as we like to say. There's a lot of names thrown around, but to pretend that somehow they were trying to bring us together and unite us after calling people who supported Donald Trump some pretty vicious names. President Biden the other night referring to us as garbage. Both sides did it, so I'm not getting. But to not pretend that that's not raw is just misreading the room.